The maker of one of the most popular abortion pills on the market is fighting back today after a court restricted access to it. Yesterday, a federal appeals court temporarily barred abortion providers from prescribing mifepristone through telemedicine and sending prescriptions through the mail. Today, the company that makes mifepristone filed an emergency appeal to the Supreme Court demanding access to the drug be fully restored. Meanwhile, the president and CEO of Planned Parenthood, Alexis McGill Johnson, vowed to continue providing abortion care where it is legal. Writing in a statement, quote, "This is yet another attack on abortion that is rooted in politics, not science." And Alexis McGill Johnson joins us now. She is also president and CEO of the Planned Parenthood Action Fund. So, Alexis, you noted that mifepristone is safe. There has been testing going back decades, research going back decades, attesting to the safety of this drug. Why is this happening now?
Let me be clear. Mifepristone is safe. It is effective. It has been used for 25 years, 7.5 million patients, and hundreds of peer-reviewed studies, right? So when we talk about being rooted in science and not junk and not fiction, we are standing on really solid ground here when we talk about how important it is for patients to understand that right now. I also want to be clear that medication abortion is still available, right? There's a lot of chaos and confusion in these kinds of decisions. And so if people are confused, they should consult their local Planned Parenthood health center or provider to make sure that they are getting the right and accurate information about what's happening. So we're here, though, because Trump's FDA came after mifepristone with a political attack. And, Louisiana said, they said they were going to put it under review. And Louisiana said, you're not moving fast enough. So they decided to essentially, appeal to have mifepristone be removed from the ability to send it through the mail and to pharmacies in ways that really are just about trying to do another national abortion ban. That's really what the goal is.
Well, so how big of a setback is this decision?
This is a setback for people who rely on medication abortion, who rely on getting, easy access to basic health care. This is a setback for providers who now have to figure out a way to operationalize, sending out medication abortion to the patients that they had planned to this week, right? 2/3 of abortions are done through medication abortion. And, we know that using mifepristone and misoprostol, which are the two medications, is the gold standard for how we provide medication abortion. They will still be able to provide miso-only abortions through the mail and through other ways of bringing people in. But it's a setback because essentially it's attacking people and patients in care where it's needed the most.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this pill can only be taken in a first trimester, in a very early phase pregnancy, which is what most of the country, according to polling, is in agreement about in terms of when they want abortion to be legal and when they want it to be illegal. I guess what I would ask you is, how have these numbers changed in women seeking out medical abortions versus surgical abortions since Roe versus Wade?
Well, we've seen an increase in medication abortion for sure, right? As I said, 2/3 of abortions are now conducted through medication abortion. And the numbers have of abortion overall have not gone down, right? So you would think that the opposition was declaring kind of victory after the Dobbs decision or after even this attack on medication abortion. And what we know is that people who need access will continue to find ways to get access to care. It is not the case that the majority of people support limiting access to abortion. They don't support criminalizing providers. They don't support criminalizing patients. And they certainly do not support politicians who are trying to come in between their decision with their family, with their providers, into their exam rooms and say, hey, we don't really trust you to get this medication through the mail, so therefore we're going to go to court and try to stop you. That's ultimately what this is about, right? It's about power and it's about control and it's about essentially telling women, we don't trust you to actually take care of yourself.
What about miscarriage care? Because this medication is also used to manage miscarriages for women who go through that very difficult experience. What does it mean for the availability of treatment for families that are experiencing miscarriage?
Well, miscarriage care is abortion care. Many who've gone through miscarriage care oftentimes are very surprised when they see their documentation afterwards that gives them the indication that they actually had an abortion procedure or they got abortion care. They will now be subject to these same restrictions of not being able to get it mifepristone mailed to a pharmacy or to get that mailed to them by their provider, depending on wherever they are, right? So, we can't separate out miscarriage care from abortion care because it's exactly the same thing.
But so just to stick on that for 1 second, what does that mean for the health of women who are experiencing miscarriage? Again, we're talking about wanted pregnancies much of the time. If people cannot get access to these medications, what are the risks?
So here's what we know. We know that abortion bans have made pregnancy more dangerous, right? We already have a maternal mortality crisis in this country that is really horrific and shameful. And so what it means, right, particularly for women of color, for Black women who are experiencing miscarriage, that their inability to be able to get access to mifepristone in a timely manner, one that could be easily provided for them, one that has been safe and effective and proven to be so for decades, they will have a higher burden to get that care. And, and we know, obviously, anything can go wrong in these moments, particularly when we know already that we're facing maternal morbidity crises.
Alexis Miguel Johnson, always great to have you. Thank you so much. And we'll keep an eye on this story as it goes forward. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.